What's up, internet? My goal today is to bring you a quick video, and that's not my specialty, so let's get started with a question. What's the most unhealthy food you can possibly eat? Go ahead, take a second to think about it. It amazes me how few people actually know the answer to this question when health and fitness is such a massive trending topic. It seems like every day there's a new diet you should try, new foods you should avoid. So go ahead, think about it. What's the most unhealthy food you can eat? Sugar, saturated fat, processed meat, all those things probably come to mind. And while those things are definitely not good for you, those aren't the worst possible thing you can eat. I'll give you one more second to think about it before I tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. Trans fats. Trans fats are definitely the worst thing you can eat. And there's so much consensus on the subject, in fact, that multiple countries have decided to ban trans fats altogether, but we here in the good old USA, God bless America, still eat trans fats. I must admit, there has been a lot of progress made over the last couple years, and hopefully in the near future we won't have trans fats in our food anymore. But right now, while I'm shooting this video, there are trans fats in our food. And why? Probably because money. Trans fats increase the shelf life of food. It's convenient for companies to use, and where there's lots of money involved, you can be willing to bet that there will be a fight to the bitter end before anybody's pockets are at risk. So these companies want to continue to use trans fats in their food, but like I said, in the near future we probably won't have trans fats in our food because they're so bad for you, and there's no way to make a case that putting trans fats in food is okay. So, super easy video, right? Trans fats are bad, avoid trans fats. Well, not so fast, because if you hit pause on this video right now and went to your kitchen, I'd be willing to bet that most of, if not all of the food you have would say 0 grams trans fat, but that doesn't mean there's 0 grams trans fat. The FDA, to put it simply, decided that if there's less than half a gram of trans fat per serving, that food company is allowed to label their food as 0 grams trans fat. So 0 grams trans fat really means less than half a gram of trans fat per serving. So what did all the food companies do? They lowered their serving size to the point where there was just less than half a gram per serving. So 0.499999 grams of trans fat, sure, that's fine. And now they're allowed to label it 0 grams trans fat. So what do? How do we avoid trans fats if the label saying 0 grams trans fat doesn't even mean there's no trans fat in that food? Look for these 3 words, and this is the big idea of the video. Partially hydrogenated oils. If you see the words partially hydrogenated oils on any food label, you can be sure there's trans fat in that food. Partial hydrogenation is just the process that vegetable oil undergoes to become trans fat. And that's right, it's a process that it undergoes. That means trans fat, for the most part, is manufactured. They literally make it into trans fat because it's more convenient for them, because it increases the shelf life, and those reasons I mentioned earlier. Now, not all trans fat is man-made. While the vast majority of trans fat we eat is through partially hydrogenated oils, there are small amounts of trans fat that occur naturally in full-fat dairy and some animal products, but the evidence isn't there to say that those trans fats have the same effect on us as man-made trans fats do. So, like I said earlier, make sure to avoid partially hydrogenated oils. Don't consume foods that have partially hydrogenated oils. That means there's trans fat in that food, and trans fat is really, really bad for you. It increases your LDL cholesterol, it lowers your HDL cholesterol, it's associated with an increased risk for type 2 diabetes, for stroke, for heart disease. Trans fat is really, really bad. Look for those 3 words, partially hydrogenated oil. Hope you guys learned something today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.